of his eye. Sit right down, we're gonna give you the scoop with Ryan Pfeiffer and Lisa Doop. Shama-lama ding-dong, loop-de-loop. This is the story of a guy named Mr. Boop.
You're listening to Being Mr. Boop. ID? Oh, God. My name is Ryan Pfeiffer, and I am Mr. Boop.
My name's Lisa Doop, and I'm Mr. Boop.
And I'm Max Duveau, and I'm also Gir Vengersky, and I'm also Mr. Boop.
And I'm the Scream. Lisa... Max... Yeah? I don't remember what you said. It's Tuesday, July 28th, 2020, and today we're reading the 136th ever Mr. Boop strip. Hey, we got the date right this time, I think.
Mm-hmm.
What happens in today's Mr. Boop?
Le Trollface.
Literal.
Happens.
That's not right. That's
Are
not
you
correct.
sure? Are you sure? Because it does. That is what happens.
Well, we'll talk about it. There is a shadow synopsis that kind of goes into this, but we'll save it for the end because it goes into this. So there's 4 panels. It's not a synopsis because it goes into it. So, but whatever, we call it the shadow synopsis.
Yeah.
It's the alt text.
Mm-hmm.
So there's 4 panels. Panel 1. We're still. I assume we're still in the office with Alec, Betty, Winecone, and Mr. Boop.
Mm-hmm. Location's the same.
Mm-hmm. From the previous few strips. So panel 1, we see a shot of Alec and Betty sitting in the chairs as they have been. Betty is mostly off panel, but we see like almost half of her like on panel. And Alec is sitting next to her. It almost looks like they're on a bench. The chairs are so close together.
Mm-hmm.
He's got his legs crossed and one arm around her, and it's like a cocky position. He's got a cocky grin on his face, and his eyebrows are like. It's a cocky expression. I don't know what to tell you. And he's got a 2-part speech bubble.
The first part of the speech bubble says, "Hey, buddy, take the hint." Second speech bubble says, "She's happier with me." And me is underlined.
I'll be happy when Lisa stops doing the Ringo voice for Alec. Or whatever it is. John?
Paul McCartney.
George?
Hey, buddy, take the hint. She's happier with me.
Pete?
No, that's Stuart Sutcliffe.
Yeah, that's my Stuart Sutcliffe voice.
What are other monkeys' names?
There aren't any other monkeys.
Moon
There was,
Keith.
Moon Keith. Okay.
Moon Keith, Moon of the Monkeys. Oh, Moon. I forgot his name was Keith Moon because I only remember Moon Keith Moon from the Weeble animated Flash web series on the moon. And there was a character called Moon Keith Moon, and it was the talking remains of Keith Moon.
Oh my god, that's morbid.
No, it was like a little urn, and the lid of the urn flapped up. And it was Keith Moon, and he lived on the moon, but it was just his urn. It was Keith Moon. It was Keith Moon's urn, and it lived on the moon, and it was called Moon Keith Moon. It's great. It's a great cartoon.
We have another panel.
We do have another panel.
What?
So
we were
yeah,
done.
all right. We have 3 more panels actually. So panel 2 is, I guess, a reverse shot. If we want to say panel 1's the flapper shot. Either way. We see Mr. Boop, Betty's dad.
Mm-hmm.
As Lisa likes to say, the titular Mr. Boop because
The
she likes
titular
being
Mr.
wrong. He's got like a smug grin on his face, but it's not too much of a grin. It's not a real. It's not a real big grin.
Like
It's just a little bit of a cocky grin.
Yeah, he's kind of being
it's very different than the previous panel's cocky expression.
Yeah,
but they're
it's
both
almost like a sneer.
Yes. Yes. But they're both doing like cocky expressions, but they're different.
It's like
he's sort of like looking away as he does his like not making eye contact. And he's almost doing a talkie with one of his hands, but like at the same time like flapping his hand forward. Like
this is the first time we see his
Pshaw,
hands
you know?
not in the Gengi Akari pose.
This is true.
Yeah.
I'm scrolling up.
Gendo Akari.
This is true. Pretty sure this
Yeah.
is true.
I would have remembered.
And there's motion lines as his hand is like going doing the Pshaw type of whatever. And he's got a speech bubble above him and a speech bubble below him. They're kind of framing him in the panel. The first one says, "How precious! It makes no difference who she's happier with." And the second one says, "All that matters is she legally belongs to me, and I decide what to do with her."
Uh-huh.
Who wants
Indeed.
to continue? Panel 3.
All right.
What happens?
Panel 3. Back to the flapper shot you called it, right?
Yes, you're
Yes.
catching
So-
on more
Okay,
than a
cool.
lot of the hosts have.
Well, ain't that great?
Hey,
well,
no offense.
okay.
No offense.
Chris got
to
it
the
pretty
hosts.
quick. Chris revised.
Hmm?
Chris revised between episodes.
Revised.
Yeah, he looked through the slang guide between episodes, and
yeah.
he got it pretty well.
But I don't
well,
I don't think he really actively tried to use the slang very much.
the slang guide. All right. Well, I'll
we
have
need
to-
it to understand what we're talking about. Otherwise, we have no idea what we're talking about.
Yeah, fine. Okay. Well, yeah, all right. Okay. Cool. Fine. Great. Wonderful.
It's great when we
yeah,
can tell
so-
how annoyed the guest is about the slang.
Yeah. I mean, I'll read it between takes. Anyway,
No, you don't
Flapper
need to.
Nah, I'm gonna. Anyway, so back to Flapper Shot. Everyone's expression and position has changed, even though I say everyone, there's only two people. It's Mr. Boop, as in Alec.
You think
and
their
then-
position has changed? They're in the.
Yes, I think. Well, I mean, their expressions have.
You mean like
And
their pose has changed, but their position
Yes,
is
their
like they're sitting in the
their-
same spot.
their
Betty
pose.
Betty has
Yeah.
pretty much the same position, but she's
Yeah.
grabbing Alec's arm.
She's grabbing Alec's arm, and she's looking a lot more upset at this
Yes.
whole conundrum.
Her face
Tears
is
running
different.
down her face.
Her face was kind of
Yeah.
neutral in panel 1, and in this one, we see tears in her eyes. Her eyelids are saggy. She's frowning, grimacing,
Yeah.
and Alec is clenching a fist of rage, like a rat. And he looks angry, and there's a tear forming under his glassed-clad eye. And he's-
Like the
he-
Kid Rock song.
He's making a very passionate case for himself, that's for sure. We got two quote bubbles here
on the left, yeah.
on the left, yeah.
He's shouting. They
Yep.
say, "The comic strip I drew about our marriage is very popular, and people love it." 2 electro points. And the second one says, "The masses won't stand for this." 2 electro points. Also,
It's
after
true.
that one.
This is like, kind of how people think that if they, try their hardest, they can beat, big wigs, fat cats, if you will. Like, oh, we band together, we can boycott the.
Yeah. Hey, I mean, it worked
Amazon
for the Sonic
Corporation.
movie.
It did.
Which
And
I still haven't
nothing
seen.
else.
I remember I was going to watch that last week, and I still haven't. And I need to watch it by tomorrow, because I'm going to finish the game. I didn't realize we were
Scrap
talking
Brain
about this
Zone.
strip as we're going through it, because I have stuff to say about panel 1.
Go ahead.
It's weird.
Okay.
The way he's like, it's a very like, you know what it's reminiscent of, and it didn't remind me of this, and I don't think it's supposed to be reminiscent of this, but this is a good example of the sort of thing I'm thinking of. Is in the Guest comic. Have you read the Guest comics, Max?
It's possible, but I wouldn't remember.
You haven't read those 3 times.
No.
Listeners will not understand what we're talking about because the episodes because the listeners have not read it. They only know what we say.
Yeah,
We allow them to know. We only know what we allow them to know.
It's
For all
a
they
rule of
know,
this show.
we have omitted several things from past strips, and they have no idea, and they'll never have any clue because we're
If you've
stringing them
if you-
along.
If you've read the strip, you're not allowed to listen to this podcast. You have to do one or the other.
And vice
That's
versa.
the basic. That's the rule.
That's why Max has not listened to any episodes of this.
Yeah.
Because he's not allowed like ×3. He's triply not allowed to listen to this. Anyway,
Oh yeah. Yeah, and
um,
I'm not even gonna listen to the ones that feature me.
no, I wouldn't. I don't. In fact,
No, just
I don't know if I even listened to. I'm not
The
sure if I
Sophia
listened to
week?
the week that I wasn't on.
I thought you listened.
I
think you
listened to
mentioned
some of it.
You
I don't
took
think I
notes.
listened to the one that Jenny was on. I didn't finish
Aw.
listening that week. But anyway, one of the guest comics, in Volume 1, the physical copy of Volume 1, or the digital copy, whatever, the book, whatever, was, most of them are just one page, or like around 4 panels or whatever. But this one was several pages, and it was like Steven Universe approaches Betty and Alec at a bar and tries to pick up Betty, like, hey, you don't want to be with this wimp. Get with a real man like me.
Mhm.
And then and dumps a milkshake on Alec's head, and then Superman throws him out. Do you remember that, Max?
no.
Oh, I'm sorry I spoiled it. But anyway, that's sort of the vibe I'm getting, like the Steven vibe from Alex here. I mean, from Alec here, where he's like,
He's gained some confidence.
it's that sort of back off, buddy, she's with me vibe, or I guess it's the sort of, it's the vibe he didn't have in that strip, which was not a canon strip, and I don't think it's that he has that now. I think it's just, I don't think it's like character development as much as it's just like, this is what would be funny here.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it's not funny. It's weird that he's saying it like that to her dad. Like, it's the way he's talking as if it's like someone trying to pick her up, but it's her dad trying to like
Maintain
legally
her intellectual property.
take custody of her. I don't know.
Yeah. No, I get what I get what you took a lot of words to say.
Yeah.
Everything I say takes a lot of words to say. That's why I'm such a
that's
good
all right.
podcast host.
You know what? That's totally fair. But we still have one more panel.
What could it
we
be?
do. Oh my god.
It's
been foreshadowed.
it's like similar to panel 2.
Yeah,
Um,
it's kind of the same.
But so we see Mr. Boop, but he's like, instead of in the middle of the panel, he's like off to
On the edge.
left. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Up to the edge of the left. To fit his thought bubble in the top right. And before we describe his expression here, let's read his thought bubble. He's got a thought bubble. It says, "Hey, hey, I can't believe this guy thinks I give a shit.
Again, reflecting the, attitudes of big megacorps. Cheap trademark. Who,
The masses
don't really
won't stand
care
for
what
this.
the
I
masses
can't
think.
believe he thinks I give a shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a lot of subtext going on here,
True.
don't you think?
Reminds me of my entire life.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Elaborate on that.
This... I don't think I need to.
Okay. I was because I'm not paying attention. That's why. Mr. Boop's expression in this panel
So good.
is what
it's
he was
perfect.
referred to in the synopsis as,
Late
and I
face.
quote, "Le troll face." And it is reminiscent
It's
of
sort
that.
of literal, but not really.
I don't think it's unintentional. God, he tried to keep the squareness of his jaw on the
It's so-
the left side, and it makes his head look have like a really weird shape, going like past his shoulders. He has a really wide grin going to his ears. It's the ear-to-ear sort of grin. I would not call it the wife face.
I've said this before. This is about other things, but this kind of reminds me of the Ralph Records logo again.
The Ralph
it-
Records logo?
It looks cool. You know what I mean, right?
Yeah, I do. I would not have fucking seen that.
You want?
Oh my god, I can't believe Ralph Records is taking away Betty Boop.
I think you have said this before, and I
But it was
look
about
at
a
it
different
and I
thing.
disagree, and I still look at it and I disagree. It's not the Ralph Records logo is not exaggerated enough.
That's fair.
But I don't think this count like. It's reminiscent of the white face in that it's really exaggerated ear to ear grin, almost like to a creepy level.
Mm-hmm.
But there's something about it. It's the attitude of it. It's more devilish here. It doesn't give that
Delightfully
white
so.
face vibe to it to me. I don't know.
Yeah, it doesn't-
I would need a comparison to see really.
It is not the same intention as the wife face, that's for sure.
This
There's
is
a,
this is a
I would
daughter
hope
face.
not.
This is spite and malice.
I would hope it's not the same intention as the wife face since he's her dad.
Oh yes, that would be very. Well, I mean, if this takes place in Alabama, then we're fine.
Does it?
I don't know if we're fine. I mean, legally sound perhaps, but not
Yeah,
fine.
not the same thing as fine. Anyway, I'm scrolling up to see. Yeah, the white face is different. It's like cocky, but and it's different than the cockiness in panel 1 of this strip as well. He's not even doing the white face in panel 1 of this strip. It's because it's more subtle.
Yeah, that's subtleties too. See?
But what we touched on earlier, the shadow synopsis of this strip is, I had to let Mr. Boop do the trademark Mr. Boop grin. So, according to Alec, this would be what we call the white face, and he is calling the trademark Mr. Boop grin, which I assume that's got to be the white face. This thing that comes up all the time the one of the few things that we made up a slang term for that is actually deserving of a slang term to help identify it. And he's saying the trademark Mr. Boop grin. And yeah, this doesn't read as that to me. Okay, whatever.
You're right, Ryan. Right, you are.
Whatever.
Well, you're hosting, by the way.
Oh yeah, I thought that was interesting anyway.
I thought it was interesting as well, Ryan. We all
I
thought
disagree.
it was interesting.
You've been listening to Being Mr. Boop. No more boops. You can visit the show's website at www.beingmrboop.com for our full catalog of episodes and to sign up to host the podcast. For more updates, follow at MrBoopPod on Twitter. Max,
Yeah.
where can I find you?
Oh boy. I'm on Twitter as Zhir Vengersky. That's ZHIR_VENGERSKY. You can also buy my fucking album at zhir.bandcamp.com. Once again, ZHIR. Buy my music, buy my NFTs, and
Oh no.
and don't make the same mistakes I have.
Can
Can I get the?
and I would like to promote. Do make the same mistakes I have. So yeah, listeners, please do make the same mistakes I have, and follow me at Kenny106 at Semi-Sweet Stuffs. And make your own Twitter account where you post everything you eat. Do that. Let the government track your food eating habits.
I'm
Make
gonna
it
recommend.
real easy for them.
I'm gonna recommend you buy the NFT of the "I'm gonna pay you back easy listening" version music.
Oh, come
video.
on, promote something real also.
I don't have anything real. I don't.
I'm
don't
always
know.
I'm always the only one. I mean, luckily Max is here to promote something.
I don't have anything. I don't make any content.
You have a
This is my
Twitter.
amateur-
You have things.
I don't want
Finish
people
your hardcore cover of "Shout" by Devo from the hit.
Yeah, Lisa is
1984
promoting
album
her
Shout.
unfinished hardcore cover of
to-
Shout by Devo.
1978, please. That's when Shout came out. We all know that.
Yeah, okay.
Is that the
so
one that
every-
goes? Is that the song that goes shout, shout, let it all out? These
No.
are Devos are the bands I could do without. Come on.
Yes, Ryan. Yes, it is.
That's the song?
Yes, Ryan.
Oh, I thought that was by The Cure.
Both
Every
released
new
the same
wave
year.
band is secretly The Cure.
Oh, if only. Well, thank you and good night.
Good night, everyone.
This podcast was brought to you by the Pitch Drop Podcast Network. Like what you just heard? Support the show by going to patreon.com/pitch drop. And while you're at it, check out pitchdrop.net for more of this and other shows.